Hi everyone, Janelle here. I'm a functional nutritionist, doctor of natural medicine, and creator of the Empowered Midlife Method. This is my podcast where we talk about midlife wellness in the mountains. I am on a mission to help women not only feel better and age their best, but also to help women understand their unique body, to take ownership in their health, to awaken their hormone wisdom, and step into their power around growing older. Today, I am thrilled to have Dr. Carrie Contey join me. Carrie is an internationally recognized psychologist, parent educator, and human development specialist who spent over 2 decades helping people navigate the many seasons of life with clarity, compassion, and joy. Her work blends developmental science, nervous system wisdom, and soulful presence, all aimed at helping us understand ourselves and our relationships more deeply. In this episode, we talk about how to stay centered through the wobbles of midlife, from shifting hormones to growing teens to aging parents, and how cultivating clarity, compassion, and boundaries can help us move through change with more calm and aliveness. Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Carrie. Carrie, I fell in love with you 15 years ago, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But when my kids were little and I was parenting, and it was a very intense time, I took all your classes and I was able to find some clarity and groundedness and even joy being in a pretty crazy time. And then I returned to your work when my kids were teens. I think it was about 5 years ago. And found again a lot of comfort and clarity in another really crazy time. So I was thinking it would be perfect to have you on because I'm really curious what you have to say, what brilliance you have to share with us about being in midlife, another absolutely wobbly time. And I think I got that word from you. I use it all the time. So we have so much going on. Our hormones are changing. We have teens, we have aging parents. There's so much. So I cannot wait to dig in with you and chat and learn from you. So welcome and thank you for being here, Carrie.
My pleasure. It's such an honor. So yeah, let's dive in as deep as you want to go.
Great. Okay. So first of all, just to sort of set the stage, can I ask you where you are in your hormone journey?
Sure. So I'm 54 and about a year and a half ago, seems I wrapped up having my period. So it's been a wild, like 3 years with mostly hot flashes. My life is pretty spacious and calm, and I think that helps in terms. I think I got really lucky that my life is. I designed it that way, but I can see how that has benefited this transition because a lot of the pressures that I think can make things feel heightened, especially as the hormone machine is shifting, wasn't a factor. uh, I think that helped me go through it pretty smoothly. I didn't jump on hormones. I didn't seem to need them besides hot flashes. And now that seems to be done. So I don't know where it goes from here. I know that in my 30s and 40s, I was very affected by the shifts in the hormones in terms of the ups and downs and the moods. I'm kind of enjoying that that isn't a factor in my life the same way anymore.
Yeah, I that resonates for sure for me right now. So you've graduated, you've up leveled, you're
Yeah,
in
I like
menopause.
that.
That's
Right.
how I think of it.
Good.
And I love that you are also finding some calm and clarity. And I just don't think we talk about that enough, that there are these times of the shifting, and that's what perimenopause is about, is the shifting, the ups and downs. And I think what you said is exactly spot on. The more spacious, I like that word, our life is, the better we are usually able to handle it, which is, again, why I'm really happy you're here to just discuss how we can do that, even when we don't have maybe the spaciousness physically in our life. So I think that's great. And for me too, I'm just starting to feel that new level of calm and clarity in my life. It's very new. I am almost to menopause. I'm a month away. I can feel it's definitely going to happen this time around. And it is a shift. So I'm really happy that you brought that up. And yes. So, okay, what you are really familiar with is working with people in crazy times, though, right? In times
Correct.
of wobbles. So, how does being centered, knowing ourselves, how can that impact our lives at a time when we're feeling super wobbly?
Well, the way I think about it, and I've come to this like with not just my PhD learning and my professional, watching multiple people move through the past 20 plus years of mothering and humaning and partnering and all of it. And then personally experimenting and living with it all. But the way I perceive it is like we are the causal, like our inner system and the way that we orient to our nervous system and our soul and our beingness, if we make that just a like the center, like I think of it as like a
Mm,
target, but there's all these relationships and the relationship with myself, the you and you relationship, that to me needs a little more attention than most of us were taught to give it. So when I see my humanhood puzzle, I see myself, me and me. That's the most that's the closest in. That's the one that I have the most agency over. And so I'll come back to that. So there's you and you, then there's you and your main people that you, what I say, call live and love with. So your family members, your partner, the people that are in your home or really close in. Then there's the next level out, which is your community members, whether it's really good friends or the people that you work with. Then there's your actual like physical community that you live in. Then there's the world. And I mean, there's more levels, but that to me is an easy way of assessing like where we have agency and what matters most. I think even just framing it that way and having people see, like, if you gave a percentage of like, how much energy do I give myself? How much energy do I give these people? How much energy am I giving out here? Yes, be aware of beyond that, but be careful that it's not getting more of your very limited and precious energy because mainly the less agency we have, not to say you have no power, but the less we can affect directly something, the more dysregulating it can become. And when we talk about groundedness and steadiness and clarity, it really is about tending our nervous system and understanding what helps us get steady and what throws us out. And I think right now, whatever phase of life somebody's in, I think we have to become really aware of how we're running our systems because there's so much that is dysregulating right now.
yeah, I love that framework that you just said because I feel because I work with midlife women specifically, and I do see it as being a time when there's so many things coming at us, so many pressures, and then there's the craziness that we feel as our hormones are shifting and we don't know who we are more than ever because we really are changing. And people can get so into the doing. What do I do? What do I take? What do I blah, 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 my relationships are crazy. And what you just said is so powerful because we are at the center and we are the place that needs the most tending to. Because personally, when I'm out here and freaking out about all these other levels, and I'm just like, I'm a bad wife, I'm a bad mom, I'm a bad everything. But I think when you bring it back to that first relationship that you're speaking of, then we can approach all those different layers better.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. And I'm glad that resonates. And I want to say, like, I find this is a time of life where we could easily not do it, but we have more potential and maybe maybe for the first time in some women's lives, the ability to spend more time inside, in meaning inside ourselves,
Mhm.
and to get to truly know, because the kids are grown, or, even if they're still in the home, they're not looking for you every moment. I mean, there's still plenty of things you might have to do. But what I really want to encourage women at this phase of life is like, pull it in more. One woman I worked with years ago, I love this. She said, I tried to reframe being selfish as being self full. Like,
Mm.
I'm being self full. I'm going to model for my people, if that's the motivation that gets you to be more self full, uh, that I get to give myself a little more space and a little more grace and a little more tending and a little more asking myself these questions, which is my thing, clarity. It's my whole shtick, whether you're with young children or no children or grown children. Like, what what matters to me?
Mhm.
What am I about? What is my mosaic of humanhood and soulhood really about? Because the more clear we are, the more regulated we can be. And it's a process. I mean, maybe some people are really clear. For me, it's a daily tuning. It's a daily coming home, checking in, taking a breath, getting a beat on myself, figuring out where I want to give my limited energy, and then going, doing it, coming back the next day.
Yes, and I learned that so much from you, Carrie, and when I picture it, I'm sort of visual. I picture, like, sort of the chaos that is my life right now just because it's the way it is,
Yep.
and then when I come out of that and I do the practices that I've learned from you and other things to become clear on what my boundaries are, on how I feel about things, and then even the physical body, how to just calm my physical body down too. Like there's so many levels of it. And then I can dip back into my chaos bubble and I show up so differently in the world with my people, with my job. Just when I have clarity, everything changes, but it's just as easy not to take the time to find that clarity.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy. And I've come over the many years of doing this to really sense it as a practice is minim like, if we want to be more physically fit, we have to exercise. If we
Mhm.
want to become a better painter, we have to practice painting. If we want to learn a language, we need to invest time and energy into that language. And for me, clarity from within, like that deep sense of like, this is what's true for me. These are my yeses. These are my nos. These are my boundaries. This is what fortifies me. This is what steadies me. All of that, working on this human experience, like I have to invest in that and practice it. And I don't think, I wasn't taught that early on. I didn't know that showing up the way I want to show up was going to require me to invest some energy into building the muscles of knowing and trusting myself.
Mhm. Right. Practically speaking, so first off, just like for survival mode, if someone finds themselves because hormones do impact our anxiety and our overwhelm, I think it does just magnify everything quite a bit as they're changing. And so if someone does find themselves just sort of overwhelmed because so many women say they feel that, overwhelmed, anxious, not sleeping well, what is a practical, tangible thing someone could do to just center in the moment?
Yeah, in the moment.
In the moment.
Yes, I think the main thing is stop. Because when we're dysregulated and our the story of anxiety or overwhelm is up, it's because our nervous system is basically screaming like, too much, not enough in for all the out. And we go up here and we think we have to fix it.
Mm.
And that's what the brain does. It wants to get us to stop what's happening, but the real stop is to actually stop. So like that's what like I call it pause. And but stop is even more of like an actual in my brain, hand on heart, like let's take a break.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so you put your hand on your heart and you say stop.
Yeah, or if that might be a different word for somebody else,
Mhm.
pause,
Mhm.
stop, rest, take a
Soften.
breath,
Mhm.
soften.
Mhm.
And this is something that has to be built for most of us, but
Mhm.
bringing in and feeling the compassion. Like
Mhm.
if we if we do one thing, bringing in more compassion for just the bigness of this human experience and the loudness and the fullness and the wobbliness. Like to me, I don't love words like that because like even if we say anxiety, there's a judgment. Like most of us have a judgment of that word that somehow we shouldn't be doing this because no shoulds, but that's not a good thing to feel. And now I'm already feeling it, and now I'm judging the feeling.
Mhm.
So what I try to do is take out the words that have judgment and just put it on a continuum of wobbly and steady or stormy and sunny.
Mhm.
And we even have to be careful about that because we have these ideas that somehow it's better when we're over here and it's
Mhm.
worse when we're over here.
Mhm.
But it's just weather patterns.
Mhm.
And so bringing that compassion of like, wow, it's stormy in here right now.
Mhm.
Wow, I am wobbly. Look at my nervous system just woo going crazy. Let me pause and just get a little space and try to bring a little compassion so that I bring it down because what our body and nervous system wants to do is get up here and fix it and judge it and beat ourselves up for it when we're just having a human experience.
Mhm. Mhm. I did learn that word wobbly from you, and I have used it
Mhm.
since you taught that to me. And I think what you just described, I have done since I learned it from you, which is exactly that pause you said, and just to acknowledge, I feel wobbly.
Exactly.
I think that is such a powerful moment of shifting
Yeah.
instead of spiraling and keeping it going in the moment. It's that alone, I think is a really powerful tool that you've taught me. Thank you. And now hopefully more people will learn. I really love that. But I also really love your daily practices that we can do outside of feeling in the moment wobbly,
Yes.
that we can do when we're maybe have a little bit more time, a little bit more space to really center ourselves, learn about ourselves, explore. And I know this is different for the people that you work with, but it's important all the time to explore who we are and what our boundaries are and what we want in this world. But especially when it's all shifting because we're not being driven again by that hormones, progesterone and estrogen and all that. We sort of do have to redefine, or we don't have to. We get to redefine ourselves.
Yeah.
And so it is this like wonderful opportunity in midlife to do this. And so what do you think? What are some ways that we can do that practice, like less in the moment and more long term? What practices can we incorporate?
So I have like the long term.
Yeah, this is like all that you do. I know you have so
That's
much
what I
good
do.
stuff.
I love it. I love all of it.
Mhm.
So, well, let me start here. So, in the big picture, um, I'd love doing seasonal clarity writing.
Mm.
So, I have basically a series of prompts, and I do it with a group, and I also do it on my own. But I like taking a little time before the season kicks in to really take a beat and just like get myself settled, I look back on the season we just had and do some appreciating and what was meaningful. And then I look at life here and now, and I actually name, like, okay, it's fall 2025. In this moment, like, what is? It's like, I'm 54. This is happening in my relationship. And, da, da, da. And that just is like surveying, like, okay, where am I? Where am I? And then what's on my plate? What's coming up? What matters? What do I want to give energy, and what am I responsible for giving my energy to? And then asking the bigger question of, how do I want to feel through it? Like, what's the intention I want to hold as I move through this particular season? And then I always ask myself, like, what's essential? What are the things that are gonna give me those little energetic lifts and make it feel like I'm getting what I want out of the season? So, like, if it's, in the fall, I want to savor. I live in Maine and it's beautiful, and it's like meaningful that it goes from basically summer to winter in this really amazing and magical way. But once it's done, you're inside. You go from being outside all the time to inside all the time. So this season, I want to savor. I want to feel like I am doing it. And so by doing this writing, I tell myself, I become clear that I want to get out and do it. I want to
Mm.
shit. I want to take my walks, because that's going to both fill me up and check the box on I savored. I'm making my life feel meaningful to me. But if I don't do that, I might miss it, or I
Mhm.
might run the tape that says, oh, you didn't do. It's like, I want to give myself a chance to, in the big picture, have a sense of, like, how do I want to show up for it? And then in the day to day, have some things that I really, again, I call it checking the box. So if I want to, I know, like, it's essential for me to get outside and move around. So whether I do that on a hike for a few hours, or one breath by going outside first thing and just going, oh, I'm outside. All right, check the box. Like, I'm going to give myself credit for doing something that I was clear was meaningful to me. So that's like my seasonal clarity stuff. Then I do a daily. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's ever evolving. I don't do the same thing all the time, but I have done years of what I call, like, tuning in and tuning up. And the tuning in is, how am I doing? What's the weather? Oh, I'm really wobbly. Oh, I'm really calm. Oh, I feel 90% human brained. Like, I have some things that I'm checking on. Oh, where's my body? Oh, my body feels strong. Oh, my body feels tired. Like, it's the checking the gauges, getting a beat on this physical system. How's my heart? Like, actual, both physically and emotionally. Oh, I'm wistful today. Okay. So I'm tuning in, and then I tune up. And for me, the tuning up is, what is good? What am I appreciating? What do I want to point to and give energy to, so that I can say, like, wow, this is this is good. Yeah, there's a lot swirling, and it's not always perfect, but I'm alive. That's miraculous in itself. I have people I get to love and who love me. I get to live in a place that I feel really nourished and safe in. I want to be turning my tuner to that regularly, because that tells my nervous system we're good. And then when things do rattle me, I have resource to handle them. So the daily ish, I don't do it every day, but I know enough that keeps me aligned. That keeps me humming along. And like I said, resourced, so that I'm operating from an awareness that isn't in fight or flight, which is what happens when we get overdone and we don't take care of ourselves. We start to see through a lens that's much more on alert and looking for the problems or the stuff that could go wrong instead of having practiced the, okay, I'm good. Yeah, the world is crazy, but right now, here's what I can point to, and here are the things I can do to slow my system down and get present and remember, like, I don't know where it's all going and I don't want to miss it.
Mhm. It feels like a wonderful anchor for your day, just a habit to ground you and
Yes.
just to start from. And so, is that something do you think someone could do even while they were drinking water first thing in the morning? Or like,
Totally.
you don't have to get out a pen and paper, right? If you
No,
wanted to bring
not at
that
all.
practice into your life.
You could just ask yourself, where am I? Wobbly to steady? Oh, I'm kind of in the middle, or oh, I'm pretty steady, or oh, I'm wobbly. That's the check in. All right. What can I point to that I can appreciate right now? Oh, wow. It's a beautiful day. I get to live here. I'm breathing. It could be that basic. It's like, well, I'm still here. That counts.
Mhm,
And then what's my intention? Oh, I want to be calm today. Or, oh,
mhm,
I want to feel present with my people.
mhm,
Like you could do that in 30 seconds, if not
mhm,
less.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
just those three little prompts that you can do in your mind that can change the dial in that moment of just, the other one that's even simpler that I started doing a few years ago is it's just saying, pop out. Like when I'm in my head and I'm
mm,
feeling all the swirls and I'm telling myself stories that don't feel good, or I'm consuming something that doesn't feel good out there, I'll just stop and go, pop out. Pop
mhm,
out. Like,
mhm,
where are you? Be
mhm,
here.
mhm,
Come
mhm,
back. Come home. You're here. You're a being alive on this planet. Be careful what you're giving your attention to. Pop out.
mhm. Yeah, those phrases are so powerful to have in our back pocket that can just, again, like the same as before, just shift us out of where we were into something new. And I love your seasonal check-in because I think it resonates in so many ways for me. One, I just love the cyclical pattern of things. I love anything rhythmic. I think we are rhythmic and cyclical beings, and we're so not in touch with that, most of us. And I
Mhm.
think that seasonal check-in is a wonderful way to acknowledge our seasons and tune into the different energies of each season. And that even if someone says, "Oh, I don't like the fall because it's dark," okay, well, what can we do then? How
Right.
can we get ahead of that
Candles.
darkness? Do we need to pull out the candles? Do we
No.
need to put the twinkly lights up? I love that it's so exponentially powerful and it's so simple. I mean, just 4 times a year tuning in on that one. I think those are really powerful ways to do it. Carrie, I know so many of your offerings have so many great prompts and ways of thinking into things. And one thing I really still think of that I learned from you is boundaries and the power of becoming clear on our personal boundaries. My kids are almost 20-year-old now. It was a while ago, but the example from the slide, and I still think of that. And you're getting into something and someone's pushing you, and then, okay, okay. And then you give in, and then you just lose your temper. And I
Yeah.
see this happening in midlife with people too. And when you just spend the time doing that daily exercise you talked about, the seasonal tune in, it's like you can get clear. Okay, wait, where are my boundaries? And then be very calm about them during the day. It really is so helpful. So
So
I just,
helpful. And that's probably what you're referencing from when your kids were little was this idea that like many of us, especially me, hadn't been taught, which is the boundary lies within. The boundary is our
mm,
nervous system and where we can stay regulated and calm and communicate from that place is the boundary. And when we lose it, because the boundary had been crossed, but we didn't communicate that before we got there, that's our responsibility. And when you model that for children, and it doesn't mean you're going to do it all the time. Like it's a word, you're not going to catch it all the time, but you could go, oh, that was my boundary. I missed it and have and humor with it. But when you do notice, like I want to keep people in this flow that I have. So I do these weekly calls and I pick a topic for 2 or 3 weeks. And this week is clarity. And I was saying yesterday, like, what a gift to be able to model for the people that you love the most a ability to speak clearly from a place of regulation about something that you know you have a boundary around, even if they don't like it and they get upset by it because that's not what they want. There's something really comforting over the long haul of having somebody who is regulated and communicating that's different than somebody who's either wobbly and like, okay, do it. No, I don't want, now I'm freaking out. Like, no other human in our life wants to get the thing they want and then have the person they love the most upset with them. Like, it's better for at least in the young years, and when they get older, it gets a little more complex. But if you establish that, or even if at this point in your life you're like, wait, I didn't know I had boundaries and now I do. So here's what's coming through. It might be messy and wobbly and wiggly and come out really in ways that aren't exactly how you might want to do it. But the practice and the commitment to it and the desire to build that muscle of both clarity and communicating where you are and what's true for you, while also holding that the other might have a different truth and you're going to have to articulate and work through that with them as they get older. What a gift of like healthy relationship, right?
Yeah, I did learn that from you, that it is a gift to others to just hold your boundary calm and steady, and it really shows them so much, and I do think that is really helpful for teens. Teens are so hard to parent, it's so confusing, and they push, and it's challenging, and I think, of course, we have to have some flexibility, but being clear about what our boundaries are and holding to that and letting them dysregulate is far better than us dysregulating.
I believe that.
Yeah. Okay, so Carrie, I would love to jump into whole teen talk with you, but we don't have enough time. So, is there anything that you would like to add before we finish about just like a message you'd like to share with, since this is midlife women?
Oh, so many things, but
Mm,
I would say, uh, look for your aliveness. Like,
mm,
really open and welcome and experiment and look for the things that bring you joy and spark creativity. And I think of it as we're a mosaic and there's all these facets. And midlife feels like a time where playing with that and not thinking we have to have it all figured out. This is a rebirth. This is a time where we get to try on new ways of being and new hobbies and new things that we want to give our energy to in a way that maybe you didn't have when you were more in the mothering phase of life. And even if you're still in that in kids in your home phase of life, the older they get, the more you want to ground into yourself because that's what's going to help the actual adult relationship you
mhm,
have with them endure. Like you want to off ramp, but still have person to person, human to human, soul to soul relationship that isn't the role of mother and child.
mm,
More developed, you allow yourself to become, and the more you get to know yourself, the more you're giving your people an opportunity to really know you, not just the role of mother.
mhm. What makes you feel more alive? That definitely resonates, and I love just visualizing that prompt, and I'm sure you have that prompt
I
somewhere in
do.
your
I have a
offering,
whole
so
whole
Yes. So why don't you
Excellent.
tell us where people can find you if they
Yeah,
want
so
more?
thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I am mostly on Substack, and you can find me through Carrie Contey, PhD. But I call it evolving family life because for me, it's this is a system, and we're evolving together. And I love talking about the parenting through it, and I love talking about the personhood. And to me, we can't really look at all of the picture of human development and family life without kind of considering both. And so I do a Tuesday relationship slash parenting focused call, and I do a Thursday personhood call, and we do a little settling, I teach a little something, we do some writing, and then we have a nice discussion. They're amazing. And then Fridays, every third, I send out a little field guide with prompts and little reminders. Just it's 7 simple pages, but it's rich. It's got a lot of just remembering, like, come back, like, this is what matters, this is who you are, this is what you're here for, like, mm, the big themes applied to the life.
Yes. And just speaking firsthand, it can bring such joy and depth and meaning, I think, to people's lives to take the time. We live one life and it goes freaking fast and it can be freaking busy and we can get so caught up in the doing. And this is all about feeling and being in our body and being in this world and just enjoying it. So thank you, Carrie, so much for all of your work. I'm going to re sign up again and start doing my prompts again. So thank you.
Thank My pleasure, and I welcome people reaching out, and I am very available, and my goal is to support people who resonate with what I offer. So thank you, Janelle, for this opportunity. I really love the conversation, and let's cook up another one to talk about teenhood.
Yes, that would be great. Thanks,
Okay.
Carrie.
Thank you.
Bye bye. That's it for this week. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a comment and a review as that helps it reach more people. You can find me and the Empowered Midlife Method online at mountainrebalance.com. I help midlife women understand their body and feel and age their best. If that sounds like you, please join my community. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover here or an expert you want me to have on, let me know. Thanks for listening. In the meantime, keep playing, and here's to aging our best.